ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. दोस्तों बुजुर्गों, today we prayed Suratul Furqan, Suratul Naml, and Suratul Qasas, Suratul Shu'araa. Suratul Furqan, the criterion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Quran Sharif Al-Furqan. تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. Quran separates between haq and batil, right and wrong, truth and false. That's why it's called Al-Furqan. Allah sent it down so that the Furqan can be a warner for the universe. Allah talks about haqqaniyat of Quran. Kafir mushrik said, in hada illa satirul awwalin tatabaha fayyatulna alayhi bukratan wa asila. These are tales of the ancient times. Muhammad wrote them from somewhere. Someone was teaching him them. Allah said, قُلْ أَنزَلَهُ الَّذِي يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. They're not just tales. Revelation of the one who knows the secret in the heavens and in the earth. He is Ghafurur Rahim. Then they objected on Quran and objected on Rasul. مَا لِهَذَا الرَّسُولِ يَأْكُلُ الطَّعَامِ وَيَمْشِي فِي الْأَسْوَاقِ. What is with this Rasul? He eats food, he walks in the markets. لولا أنزل إليه ملك فيكون معه نذيرا. Why does an angel not come down with him and he can be a nazir and a warner with him? Demands أو يلقى إليه كنز أو تكون له جنة يأكل منها وقال الظالمون إن تتبعون إلا رجلا مسحورا. He is a bewitched man. He is just affected by magic and sorcery. That's why he is saying all these things. Na'udhu billah. They meant to say he's not all there. Allah said, انظر كيف ضربوا لك الأمثال فضلوا فلا يستطيعون سبيلا. How they said parables and go astray. There doesn't seem to be any road back for them. Then Allah gave answer to their queries. Allah mentioned some of their condition which will happen on the day of Qiyamah, when their idols will be brought. Allah will tell them to speak. Allah will ask them, أَأَنْتُمْ أَضْلَلْتُمْ عِبَادِي هَؤُلَاءِ هُمْ ضَلُّوا السَّبِيلَ. O idols, did you mislead them or they themselves went astray? And the idols will speak. The Buddha will speak. The statue will speak. قالوا سبحانك ما كان ينبغي لنا أن نتخذ من دونك من أولياء. Subhanallah, it was not possible for us to make anyone friends besides you. You created us. We are for you. We never told them to worship us. Allah said, this way we will cause separation between them. The idols will not speak for them nor do any sifarish for them. They will have nothing to say, thrown in the fire of Jahannam. Some other objections they have made. 19th Sibara starts. وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا. Why does Farishta do not come down upon us? Why only on Muhammad, not on us? We should also have angels coming to us. They want Jibreel to come to them with wahi. क्या तो फोड़ दिया कि तुम्हारे पास जिब्रील है? أو نرى ربنا. Why don't we see our Rabb? We want to see him. Allah said, لَقَدْ اسْتَكْبَرُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ وَعَتَوْا عُتُوًّا كَبِيرًا. They ask this question and make these objections because they are very proud people, haughty people, arrogant people, stubborn people, ziddi, anadi, badmaj, gunde. This is the behavior of badmaj, gunde, ziddis, anadis. Stubborn people, arrogant people. Allah said, يَوْمَ يَرَوْنَ الْمَلَائِكَةَ لَا بُشْرَى يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. When the malaika do appear before their eyes, they can see the malaika coming. There won't be any good news for the criminals. وَيَقُولُونَ حِجْرًا مَحْجُورًا. Bachao, bachao, bachao. That's what they will be screaming. Please save us, help, help, help. However, nobody will be there to help them. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. All the good deeds which they have done will be like scattered particles. أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن وقيلا. People of Jannat will be in a better place. Allah also, after that, mentioned another objection. لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة. Why does Muhammad get Quran bit by bit, bit by bit? Why doesn't it come in the form of a whole book like Torah, Zabur, Injil? Allah said, كَذَلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. We revealed it in this manner bit by bit because we wanted to strengthen your heart. وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. And we want to recite it dhire dhire, slowly, slowly, with clear-cut pronunciation. And وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. Whenever they come up with some argument, we send down the truth and the answer and reply to it. We explain it beautifully. Many hikmats Allah mentioned over there. First hikmat Allah mentioned was لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. Every time Jibreel Islam came with Quran, Prophet Prophet's heart became stronger and stronger and stronger. Tasbeetul Fu'ad. We need some confidence as well, don't we? Sometimes we are a bit down, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pulls us through and we manage to navigate and become stronger. Prophet ﷺ used to go through tough times as well. So he needed some confidence creating. Jibreel Islam would come and give him confidence. He would feel nice when Jibreel Islam would come. How many times did Jibreel Islam come over the 23-year period? Sometimes he used to come 2-3 times a day, sometimes 4-5 times a day. Allama Anwar Shah Kashmiri Rahmatullahi estimated that he came roughly 28,000 times. Sometimes just to meet him, sometimes just to sit with him, sometimes to do Quran Dawah with him, and many times bringing Quran Sharif to him. So Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam's arrival was a form of contentment of the heart for Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. We want to read it slowly, slowly. Why? So that people can memorize it. If thoda thoda karke Quran utrega, so it's easy to learn. That's why so many Hafiz of Quran among Sahaba, thousands Sahaba, if not hundreds. And وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ. If book is given all at once, like Torah, Zabur, Injil, there can't be any question answers. But in Quran, there are many question answers. The Muslimin ask something, Allah gives the answer. They ask a question, jawab comes. So Allah sent Quran Sharif, the final book, in this manner because Allah wanted to answer their queries. And questions come Slowly, as things progress and move on over a period of 23 years. This is إِلَّا جِئْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا وقد آتينا موسى الكتاب ولم تر إلى ربك كيف مد الظل. Some ayat, Qudrat, Allah's wahdaniyat, previous nations, how Allah dealt with them when they objected on their prophets. And the thing is that أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Why do they make these arguments and questions rather than following? Because they have made their desires their gods. They worship their desires. Like today, the disbelievers worship their desires. They go after them as though they are worshipping them. That is the main purpose of life. Our ilah and our God is not our shahwat and our carnal desires. Our ilah is Allah. We should worship Allah. We should abide by the ahkam of Allah. We should not worship our desires. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ أَفَأَنْتَ تَكُونُ عَلَيْهِ وَكِيلًا. You can't be their wakil, disposer of affairs. They're not going to listen to you. Do you think that most of them يَسْمَعُونَهُ يَعْقِلُونَ, hear or understand? No. إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They are like cattle, بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا, rather gone more astray. You know, the internal human being, that's different from the external. And human being is inside, not outside. And our internal, sometimes Allah shows it to people. I'll tell you one story. Have you heard about the city Delhi in India? Delhi, there's a large Jami Masjid there. Shah Abdul Qadir Sahib, Muhaddis Dehlavi Rahmatullahi alayhi, son of Shah Waliullah Muhaddis Dehlavi Rahmatullahi alayhi, used to stay in the masjid. He wouldn't go out. You know, you guys stayed in the masjid for 10 days. It felt so nice in i'tikaf. When you go out, you see all the outside stuff. Our mind is distracted. Shah Waliullah's son Shah Abdul Qadir wrote the first Urdu translation of Quran Sharif with short tafseer, that's called Mufti'ul Quran. The first translation in Urdu. Will take fit translation. Shaykhul Hind made it a little bit easy to understand. And Tafsir Usman is with that translation of Shaykhul Hind. So he used to stay inside. Someone said to him, Hazrat, you're always inside the masjid. You must be getting depressed. You should go outside, have some fresh air. Go outside in the bazaar. Because around Jami Masjid, there's all markets and stalls and bazaar. So zara bazaar mein jaएं, zara अच्छा लगे, zara fresh air खाएं. Hazrat said, no, I like staying in the masjid. He said it again and again a few times. So when he insisted so much, Hazrat wanted to show him something. Hazrat told him, take this topi of mine, wear it, go outside in the market, and then come back. So he wore the topi, he went outside. Now what does he see? That on the stalls in the markets, there's no human beings. There's wolf, snake, scorpion, all these, lion, tiger, cheetah, fox. He doesn't understand. What am I seeing? And he goes and he rushes back to the masjid. And he says, जब से टोपी हो, ठीक है आप मस्जिद में ही बैठे रहो. Hazrat's heart was so pure, clean, that in the mirror image he could see a reflection of the real condition of the person. He might look like a human being, but his internal condition is like a wolf, or a cheetah, or a tiger, or a lion, or a leopard, or a snake, or a scorpion, or a donkey, or a monkey. That's the internal condition. So it's not the appearance that matters, it's inside who you are. That's why Allah said, these believers, mushrikeen, they are like an cattle. In fact, they are more astray than the cattle. Even the cattle understand the purpose of his life. These people don't understand the purpose of their lives. Because they're just following after desires of money, greed, malice, hatred, lalach, dhokabazi, daghabazi, deceiving everyone, tricking, fraud. This is their behavior. Everybody is like that. How can we live in such a state? This is why Allah said, "Innahum illa kalan'am, bal hum adallu sabila." Allah mentions some other ayat, sajda comes. In the last ruku of Surah Furqan, Allah mentions nearly 10 features of Ibadur Rahman, who are the slaves of Ar-Rahman, the compassionate one. Allah says, الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا, who walk on the earth with humility, humbleness, not with their chest drawn out and proud and haughty, boom, 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 stamping on the earth like giants. That's not the manner of walking. We should walk with humility, lowering ourselves in humbleness, appreciating Allah's favors upon us, having in our minds that Allah's watching me, Allah's watching my moves, Allah sees how I move, how I walk, how I talk. Hawna. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When jahils try to speak to them, they say, Assalamu alaikum, bhai, Khuda Hafiz. Dr. Zakir Naik was talking about saying salam to non-Muslims. So yes, we should say salam to them. Quran said, وَإِذَا سَمِعُوا اللَّهُ وَعَظُمُوا لَنَا أَعْمَالُنَا وَلَكُمْ أَعْمَالُكُمْ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. Quran said, for us, our deeds, for you, your deeds, salam alaikum. So we should say salam to them. But Dr. Zakir Naik is jahil. Really, he is jahil. Tell you the truth, he is not Hafiz of Quran, he is not alim. He is a doctor. He used to work in Bombay hospital. And he started studying Ahmad Didat, and he learned comparative religious studies and started debating, and that's how he became famous. And now he thinks he's Muhaddis, Mufassir, Mufti, Sheikhul Hadith, everything. But he's jahil. He doesn't know that Lana Amaluna Walakum Amalukum Salamun Alaykum is not to say Ji Salaam Alaikum and greet them. This is Salamul I'raz, Salamul Mutaraka, Salam of ignoring, Salam of turning away. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he left his father, he said, قَالَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكَ سَأَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكَ رَبِّي. This was not salam of greeting, meeting. This was salam of Khuda Hafiz. I'm going, I have nothing to do with you. You understand the fact between the two? One is when we meet, we greet one another. But this is, Allah said, when some jahils talk to you, they try to indulge you in a quarrel or a fight or some ignorance, then you should just ignore them. Khuda Hafiz, you go your way, I'm going my way. I have nothing to do with you. This is like, today we read hadith in Mishkat Sharif, that when one of you is fasting, then you should not speak vulgar language. And you should not do any jahilana harkat. And if someone tries to argue, quarrel with him, or fight with him, he should say, Inni Sa'im, I am fasting. I don't want to fight. I've got roza. You tell him, if he is an understanding, wise person, and if he doesn't understand, then he should tell his own nafs, that, oh nafs, you are fasting, shouldn't fight. So this is for ignoring. So, لَنَا أَعْمَالُنَا وَلَكُمْ أَعْمَالُكُمْ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. After that, لا نبتغي الجاهلين. Before that, وإذا سمعوا اللغو أعرضوا عنه. Zakir Naik didn't read before and after. He just nitty picks this ayat piece, one piece part of ayat, and he says this means we can say Assalamu alaikum to the non-Muslim. He doesn't know that when Prophet ﷺ wrote a letter to Hiraql, what did he say? Salamun ala man ittaba al-huda. He didn't say to Hiraql, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What did he say? Oh, Hiraql, salam upon those who follow hidayat and guidance. So that means we should not greet a non-Muslim with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We should greet them with their greetings. Hello, good morning, how are you? Because Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh is a dua. Peace be upon you, Allah's mercy be upon you, Allah's barakats and blessings be upon you. This dua is for a Muslim. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh is shi'ar of Muslim. It's our personal symbol, a sign of two Muslims meeting one another. So something which is shi'ar of Islam should not be used with others. Otherwise they will use it with us and hide themselves. You know, I went once India. From Delhi, I hired a car to take me to Saharanpur. My friend arranged it for me. So the driver came. And after all luggage was put inside, I went to the car. So I met him and he said, Assalamu alaikum. So I thought he's a Muslim, so I was happy. Chalo, Muslim driver hai. But when I got in the car, he had that Buddha picture inside. I know. So I was a bit confused. So I asked him, "Bhai, tumhara naam kya hai? What's your name?" And he said, Satish. I realized, oh, he's a Hindu. मैंने सोचा यार तुमने सलाम किया. हाँ, वो तो सलाम तो करना है ना, सलाम तो हम सबको करते हैं. He was trying to deceive me. So it is a Muslim shi'ar. If non-Muslims start using it, they will deceive us. So this is masala. Over here as well. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When Jahil people, ignorant people address them, they say, "Bhai, khud hafiz, salam alaikum. अब तू अपना काम कर, मुझे अपना काम करने दे. मुझे तेरे साथ लड़ाई नहीं करनी है. I don't want to argue with you." This is sifat of Ibadur Rahman. आगे क्या है? وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. They spend their nights in worship, in sijda and in qiyam. And then وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا اصْرِفْ عَنَّا عَذَابَ جَهَنَّمَ إِنَّ عَذَابَهَا كَانَ غَرَامًا. In spite of all that ibadat, they don't boast for their ibadat. They humble. They say, Allah, forgive us, protect us from the fire of Jahannam. Right? Today, we don't even do that ibadat. And we never ask Allah for protection from azab of Jahannam. Allah said, Ibadur Rahman do so much ibadat. And then they say, Rabbana asrif anna azab Jahannam. You get it? How much should we seek Allah's protection from the azab of Jahannam? Then Allah said, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يَقْتُرُوا. Those who are moderate in their spending, who don't overspend and who don't underspend. They are just in the middle. Overspending is fuzul kharchi, israf, exaggeration, and underspending is bakhili, kanjusi, miserliness. Allah doesn't like kanjus, makki juice. मक्खी का भी जूस निकाला कि इसमें भी कुछ निकल आएगा. मक्खी को चूसे. वकाना बैन ज़ालिका क़वाम. हमारे साथ आज में अल्ताफ भाई थी. वो मेहमान की सब जोक्स बोले. खुद मेहमान है लेकिन मेहमान की जोक बताते हैं सब. मेहमान ऐसा करते हैं और मेहमान ऐसा करते हैं. एक मेहमान बैठा है, बुढ़ा आदमी मर रहा है, आखिरी लम्हे में है. तो पूछता है, बेटा किधर है, बेटी किधर है? यही है. बहू कहाँ है? यहाँ है, और वो कहाँ है, अजी सब यहाँ है। तो फिर उस कमरे की बत्ती क्यों जल रही है? वो पंखा बंद करो नहीं। अभी कलमा नहीं पड़ रहा है, उसको फिक्र है वो बत्ती की है, वो बत्ती क्यों खुली है, बंद करो। तो अल्लाह ऐसी जोक सुनाती थी, ऊपर से गिर रहा है 10वें तल्ले से, तो दूसरे फ्लोर पर उसकी बीवी रोटी पका रही थी, तो गिरते गिरते मैं तो गया, मेरे हिस्से की रोटी मत बनाना। अल्लाह भाई सुनाती थी। खैर, अल्लाह कहते हैं कि खर्च करने में कंजूसी नहीं करनी है। बीवी पे खर्च करो, बच्चों पे खर्च करो, जहां खर्च करना चाहिए वहां खर्च करो, अल्लाह के रास्ते में खर्च करो। कोई मेहमान आदमी माइंड मत करना यार, मैंने तो अल्लाह भाई की नकल की है, अल्लाह माफ करे, नकल नहीं करना चाहिए। लेकिन बात जब आई लम युसरिफू व लम यख्तुरू, तो जहन में बात आ गई। एक मिसाल के तौर पर, सब ऐसे नहीं है, बहुत से मेहमान माशाअल्लाह बहुत सखी भी हैं, अल्लाह के रास्ते में बहुत खर्च करते हैं, तबलीग जमात में जाते हैं, बहुत देते हैं, अल्लाह उनको जज़ाए खैर दे। आगे क्या कहा, वल्लज़ीना ला यदूना मअल्लाहि इलाहन आखर, शिर्क नहीं करती, वला यक़तुलून नफ्स अल्लती हर्रमल्लाहु इल्ला बिल्हक़, मर्डर नहीं करती, वला यज़नून, ज़िना नहीं करती। हाँ, अगर किसी से ऐसा हो गया हो, तौबा कर ले, अल्लाह माफ कर देंगे। वल्लज़ीना ला यशहदून अज़्ज़ूर, झूठी गवाही नहीं देते, they don't give false statements, वइज़ा मर्रू बिल्लग़वी मर्रू किरामा, वल्लज़ीना इज़ा ज़ुक्किरू बिआयाति रब्बिहिम, when they are reminded of ayat of Rabb, lam yakhirru alayha summan wa umyana, they don't fall on it deaf and blind. When they are told कि भाई अल्लाह ये कहते हैं, कुरान में ऐसा है, तो immediately they are alert. हाँ यार, sorry यार, my mistake, stop, I won't do this again, I'll do what Quran says. And finally, والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين, they pray for their wives and their children. O Allah, give us from our partners and our children coolness of eyes. And وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا, make us all imams and leaders for muttaqeen. Allah said, those who have these 10 qualities, أُولَٰئِكَ يُجْزَوْنَ الْغُرْفَةَ, they will be given the beautiful rooms, beautiful ghurfat, وَهُمْ فِي الْغُرُفَاتِ آمِنُونَ, beautiful palaces, بِمَا صَبَرُوا, because of their sabr. وَيُلَقَّوْنَ فِيهَا تَحِيَّةً وَسَلَامًا, they will receive greetings and peace. So, this is how Surah Furqan comes to close. Then we have Surah Shu'araa. Shu'araa is plural of Sha'ir. Sha'ir means poet, one who composes poetry. Now, songs, poetry, if it is with music, toba 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 astaghfirullah, nahi sunne ka, avoid it. If songs without music, poetry, rhymes, then Hadith Sharif said that poetry is like speech. Good poetry is good and bad poetry is bad. Just like good speech is good and bad speech is bad. So if the share is good, like I told Karan to read some Shairi Naat and he disappeared, invisible, where he disappeared, I don't know. If he sat here and read some poetry, it would have been nice. We would have enjoyed it. Good poetry, Naat, Nasheed, Zikr. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam liked good poetry. He used to copy and sing nice poetry. Like he liked the poetry of Labid when he said, ألا كل شيء ما خلا الله باطل وكل نعيم لا محالة زائل. He said, this is the most truthful share and couplet anybody has said. Labid ibn Rabi'a was not yet a Muslim. He was a non-Muslim. But in those days, he said in his poetry that listen carefully. Everything besides Allah is worthless. Batil. Only Allah is haqq. Allah is true. Everything else is false, useless. Nothing in this dunya is useful. It's only Allah. Whatever is connected to Allah, that is useful. And every ni'mat of this world is going to perish. Every ni'mat. Your house, your car, your this, your that, your luxury, your food, your drink, your clothes. Everything is going to perish. Nothing is going to remain. Don't gloat over your luxuries and blessings. Be humble. Huzur Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is the most true share couplet any shair has said. During one of the instances, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think he was at the time of digging the trenches. He was singing poetry with the Sahaba, this beautiful rhyme. اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا فثبت الأقدام إن لاقينا إن الأولى قد بغوا علينا إذا أرادوا فتنة أبينا. He was raising his voice with أبينا. This is poetry. He liked that poetry. He was once sitting with Amr ibn Sharid behind him on the right, traveling. And he said, do you know some poetry of Umayyah ibn Abi Salt? Said, yes. Then go on. So he said, I read his poetry and he liked it. And he said, read more. And he read more and more. And he said, I read to him 100 couplets. And Prophet ﷺ said, آمَنَ شِعْرُهُ وَكَفَرَ قَلْبُهُ. His share got iman in it, but his heart had kufr in it. Umayyah ibn Abi Salt was from Jahiliyyah. He got the Islamic era, but he got hasad in him, jealous, envy. And he refused to embrace Islam and believe in the Prophet ﷺ. He said, no, I'm not going to believe in him. But he used to say good poetry about Akhirat, Jannat, Jahannam, what he had learned from the deen of Ibrahim alayhi salam. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, his share got iman in it, but his heart had kufr. May Allah protect us. So he liked good ash'ar. He promoted them. He would tell Hazrat Hassan to sit on the mimbar. Who would sit on the mimbar of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Everybody held him in awe. Nobody dared sit on the mimbar during his lifetime. But he would tell Hassan, go, sit on my mimbar and defend the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Hassan would compose poetry in defense of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say, when Hassan is defending Rasul, Jibreel is with him. Jibreel is inspiring his heart, helping him to compose that poetry. So, good poetry is good. Bad poetry is bad. Bad poetry, where there is criticism of other people, accusations, slandering, poetry of sexual nature, building excitement and passion. That type of poetry, like normal songs of today in the movies, those songs are all there to build your excitement and increase your passion and love for the other person. So that type of poetry is bad. We should not listen to such poetry, nor should we repeat on our tongue such poetry. Some poetry is of kufr. Like in the olden days, they used to sing poetry by Qurban tuj pe, meri jaan, mera iman. That, oh bhai, my friend, I sacrifice upon you my jaan, my life, and even my iman. If you tell me to become kafir, I will become kafir. I will sacrifice my iman for you as well. This share has got kufr in it. We don't realize. That's why Prophet ﷺ said, good poetry is good and bad poetry is bad. Today, many youngsters listen to song. You know, someone wrote on WhatsApp that those headphones which people put on their heads, large ones, massive ones, and then walk around on the pavement, footpath, listening to songs. Many times, early morning, many people are wearing them and listening to songs. So this is prophesied in the hadith. وَيُضْرَبُ عَلَى رَأْسِهِمْ بِالدُّفُوفِ. That music will be blown out on their heads. So this is going on their heads. Maybe the indication is towards that. Allah knows best. But this type of indulgence in music is no good. It harms your ears, your eardrums, harms the brain. Must be avoided. Don't listen to such dirty, filthy, sexual, exciting songs, movie songs, film songs. Avoid them. Listen to Quran Sharif. Quran Sharif is the best thing to listen to. It's better than nasheeds. Even nasheeds and all that. Right? Poetry, not sometimes good. But best is Quran Sharif. Hazrat Maulana Fazlur Rahman Ganj Muradabadi Rahmatullah alayhi was asked, Hazrat, गाना सुनने में बहुत मजा आता है, कुरान सुनने में मजा नहीं आता. You understand? I love listening to songs, but I don't like listening to Quran. And Hazrat Maulana gave a very nice Hakiman answer. He said, अभी कुरान से बहुत है, जब कुर्ब हो जाएगा, फिर ये कैफियत खत्म हो जाएगी. This is because you are distanced from the Quran. If you come closer to the Quran, this kayfiyat will go away, then you love listening to Quran. And this is, if you keep listening, then slowly, you know, when your mentality, mind, heart and mind is filtered, cleaned, purified, then you will fall in love with Quran, you will like listening to Quran. Try it out. Check all the qadis and stick to your favorite qadi. One of my favorite qadi is Mahir Mualqi. He is very nice. Simple, straight, little bit of waves in there. Not too high, flashy. These Yasir Dosri and these guys and Bandar Balila, I don't like them. They give you a bit of excitement and then finished. Mahir Mualqi, beautiful recitation. You keep listening to him, inshallah. You know, when my friend Ozzy gave me that Mercedes, black Mercedes I had, in there was a CD of Mahir Mualqi's Quran, or was it Sudesh Shurem? I don't know. I think it was Sudesh Shurem, whatever it was. But yeah, it was Sudesh Shurem, but I put in there another CD, Mahir Mualqi. And sometimes when I'm driving, right, back and forth, I would just listen to the Quran. Rather than radio, 909 news, this, that, bekhar bakwas, time waste. All censored, jhoot upon jhoot, lies upon lies, fabrications. No point in listening to that news. Censorship. Censorship means lying. You must learn how to lie, how to tell lies, how to twist the truth and make people believe in the lie. Cover up the truth and spread the lie. That is censorship. That is what BBC do. BBC, Bakwas Broadcasting Channel. Don't listen to all that type of. Just listen to Quran Sharif. Quran Sharif. As much as you can. And slowly you will fall in love with Quran Sharif. Like listening to it. This is why Hazrat Maulana Fazlur Rahman Sahab Ganj Muradabadi Rahmatullah Alayhi said, अभी कुरान से बहुत है, जब कुर्ब हो जाएगा तो ये कैफियत खत्म हो जाएगी. This reminds me of something alarming. Some people have habit of listening to songs, right? This young man, maybe 22, 23 years old, died. I read in one kitab. He was brought for ghusl. The person who was giving him ghusl gave ghusl, and when they were about to finish, some white sticky substance started seeping through the ears. So they cleaned it. But it came out more and more. And they kept cleaning. About 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's coming. Where is all this coming out from? We've cleaned it so much with cotton wool, tissue, this, try to block it, it doesn't stop. So then they made mashwara, just put something there and put the kafan in and pray janazah and bury him. They had to do that, but it was still coming out. They buried him. Then they inquired, why did this happen? And the family said, this young man had a habit of listening to dirty songs. His family, his nana or dada, grandfather, sat down with him, explained to him, told him not to listen to these songs and that type of stuff. He said, okay, I won't. In those days, they had cassettes. So they brought him cassettes of Quran Sharif, and they told him to listen to Quran Sharif. So he said, all right. So he used to play the cassette player and put the earphones inside. Now, when someone would ask, they would take the cassette out, look, listen to Quran. But in reality, on that Quran cassette, he had recorded songs. So he was showing people that he is listening to Quran, but in reality, he was listening to songs. And he died suddenly. Allah showed this, that pus was coming out of his ears. Allah sometimes shows signs. Allah bachaye. Don't listen to songs. Give up that bad habit. May Allah give us tawfiq to do tawbah, to avoid all types of songs, whatever nature they are. This surah talks about Shu'araa. Allah said, وَالشُّعَرَاءُ يَتَّبِعُهُمُ الْغَاوُونَ. Shu'araa are followed by the misguided people. Poets. What do they call them this day and age? Pop stars. Pop stars are followed by ghaawun, gumrah, misguided people. Alam tara annahum fi kulli wadi yahimun. Do you not see that poets roam around in valleys here and there? You know, in those days, poets, in order to compose poetry, they needed to focus, concentrate. So they would go out of the city into the outskirts, on the mountains, valleys, trees, and waterfalls, and they sit there and think about poetry. They make one couplet, they try to make the second one, and another one, and then they try to compose the whole poetry. Allah said they roam around, and then in their poetry, يَقُولُونَ مَا لَا يَفْعَلُونَ. They say things which they don't do. They lie a lot. They portray themselves to be the greatest brave warrior, like Hazrat Ali Karamullah Wajhahu, the greatest Sakhi like Hatim Ta'i, and the greatest, man of manners, akhlaq. But if you go to them and you sit with them, you will see that they are conducive, whose dil, but akhlaq. You run away from them. So poets lie a lot in their poetry, fabricate things. Those poets who have iman وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, who do good stuff. وَانْتَصَرُوا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا ظُلِمُوا, who take their own back after they were oppressed and taunted. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ, those who did zulm will know where their zulm led them. You know, among the Shu'araa of the early Islamic era, there was a shair named Furqan. With regards to Sher Shairi, it was a beautiful shair. But he was not very good at Fasik Fajir. He used to do zina, fornicate as well. And he used to slander and accuse people as well in his poetry. People would be really scared of his abusive tongue. When he would go to some rich man and ask him for something, that rich man would be compelled to give him what he wanted. Otherwise, he would compose poetry in his satire, and that rich man would be insulted throughout the whole city. So everybody was scared of his abusive tongue. There are some stories regarding this as well. Maybe some other time. When he died, someone asked about those who had died recently. He was in the Hassan Basri era. Hassan Basri had died as well. Ibn Sirin had died as well. Furqan Shair had died as well. How is Hassan Basri? Oh, he is in the Illiyin. Ibn Sirin, he is also up there. What about Furqan? And the Farishta in the dream said that his bad mouth, his tongue, his poetry has pushed him into Jahannam. You see? Azab al-Qabr. He was in Azab al-Qabr because of his bad mouth and his bad poetry. So Allah said, don't compose any bad poetry about someone. Don't say bad stuff about other people. This is the message of Surah Shu'araa. And then we have the Surah of Naml, the Tuti, the ant. Sulaiman alayhi salam traveling. Allah had given him bionic ears. There was a Tuti, an ant, miles away. And the ant said to the whole Qabila and tribe of ants who had come out of their hole in search of some food. The ant said, Ya ayyuhan namlu udkhulu masakinakum la yahtimannakum Sulaiman wa junuduhu wa hum la yash'urun. Quickly, back to your holes. Sulaiman and his army are coming. They will kill you, they will tread over you they will stamp over you without realizing. They won't do it deliberately, but by mistake, they could trample over you and you could be killed. And all the ants quickly rush to their holes and inside. Sulaiman alayhi salam heard all that conversation of the ants. فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكًا مِنْ قَوْلِهَا. He started smiling. And he said, رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ. Parwaddigar, you've given me so much. I can hear and understand the talk of the ants. He was given, understanding of the speech of the birds. The chirping of every bird, he could understand. This is why in this surah Allah mentioned 4 stories. One story of Sulaiman alayhi's first story, Musa alayhi's salam's stick turning into a snake. Then number 2, second story of the Tuti ant. Third story of Hudhud, Hupu. And 4th story of Saleh alayhi salam's camel, the she camel which came out of the rock, and then it was a mu'jiza, miracle of Saleh alayhi salam, but people killed him. The animals' stories, Allah is giving some lessons through them. Allah's qudrat, Allah's haqqaniyat, how Allah blesses His prophets. This is all mentioned in these verses. So, the Tuti story, Hudhud story, taking the letter of Sulaiman Islam to Bilqis, coming back with the reply, Sulaiman Islam talking to him. These stories are mentioned. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then from Amman khalaqa as-samawati wal ard proves Allah's existence. Allah mawjood hai. Allah ka inkar mat karna. Atheist, agnostics, take lesson, read the first page of 20th Sipara. Amman khalaqa as-samawati wal ard wa anzala lakum min as-sama'i ma'a فأنبتنا به حدائق ذات بهجة ما كان لكم أن تنبتوا شجرها أإله مع الله بل هم قوم يعدلون أمن جعل الأرض قرارا وجعل خلالها أنهارا وجعل لها رواسي وجعل بين البحرين حاجزا أإله مع الله بل أكثرهم لا يعلمون أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه. I'll just mention one story which Ibn Kathir wrote over here. Allah, who responds to the call of a person in distress and helps him. وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, removes the problem. وَيَجْعَلُكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ أَإِلَهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Ibn Kathir narrates a story. I'll finish off with this. Muhammad is sleeping. You slept all day, my friend. Why are you sleeping now? Ibn Kathir narrates that there was this quli, porter, who would carry goods and take them from one city to the other city, deliver, and he would make his money. That was his job. So he took some goods of a merchant, businessman, on some donkeys, and he was carrying all that merchandise from one city to another city. Whilst he was going, this person gave him company. Why were you going? I'm going to the so and so town. I'm going from Bolton to Blackburn. Oh, I'm going there as well. We'll walk together, go together. All right, okay. So they start talking, and he starts sweet talking with him until taking him to a fork. So the porter Kuli was going on the right. But this man said, what are you going on the right for? It's too long, this route. Let's go on the left. It is shortcut. But the Kuli said, but I'm not familiar with that route. This is the route I normally go on. So I'll just go on it. No. I know this route. You come with me. It's very short. You'll get there very quickly. So Bichara innocent, Bola Bala, he said, all right then. So he went on that route. Now they're walking. They come to a jungle, a dead end. And that man drew out his sword. And he said, say your last prayers, you're going now. He said, oh, why, please, don't do this. You want money? Take all the merchandise, but spare my life. Let me go. He said, no, I'm going to kill you as well. I'm going to take all your mal as well. He was a daku, a robber, bandit. I'm going to kill you as well. So the man said, okay, then if you want to kill me, just let me know wuzu. Pray to a namas. Said, all right. And there were some skulls there. Said, you see those skulls? They also said something, same thing. Their namaz didn't benefit him. Pray, go on. But be quick. Now he's alone in the jungle. There's nobody there. He's got no weapon, nothing. That guy's got a sword. So he didn't wuzu when he stood. And he said, Al-Fatiha. And the man was saying, be quick. Now he doesn't know what to do. He's not crying. He's not going to be able to hear this act. Wallah, you are the one who responds to a muftar, a person in dire need and distress. This is my time of dire need. You remove the problem. Please remove my problem. Help me. As he was reading this, from nowhere, a horse rider appeared, riding very fast. And he came and he struck that bandit robber, finished him. Now this person quickly finished his salah. And he asked the person, who are you? And he said, I am the farishta of Amman Yujibul Muttarra Idha Da'ahu. I was on the fourth heaven. When you read this ayat, Allah ordered me to come to your aid. I came from the fourth sky down in a flash to finish it. Allah sent me. And then He said, go take all your goods and go from that route, and that is better for you. This is أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ وَيَجْعَلُكُمْ خُلَفَاءَ الْأَرْضِ أَإِلَٰهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah mentions His qudrat, His power in these ayat. Surah Naml comes to a close. At the end, Allah said, إِنَّمَا أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ رَبَّ هَذِهِ الْبَلْدَةِ الَّذِي حَرَّمَهَا وَلَهُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَأَنْ أَتْلُوَ الْقُرْآنَ. I've been told to remain a Muslim, and I've been told to recite the Quran. Today I was doing bayan in Tayyiba Mosque, and I decided, and this point came to my mind. Allah said two things here. Number one, that I should remain a Muslim, and number two, I should recite the Quran. Can you see the connection? If you keep reciting the Quran, you remain a Muslim. See, that's the connection in there. So if you want to remain strong on Islam, you should read lots of Quran. If you keep reading Quran, you have love for Quran, you will remain Muslim, you will die a Muslim. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Do not die except as Muslim. وَأُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ وَأَنْ أَتْلُوَ الْقُرْآنَ فَمَنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَهْتَدِي لِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَقُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُنذِرِينَ وَقُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ سَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ فَتَعْرِفُونَها وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Always say Alhamdulillah. Allah will show you His signs. That your Allah Rabb is not unaware of what you do. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفُرُ سَاعَةً وَلَا أَنَّمَا يَخْفَى عَلَيْهِ يَغِيبُ. Never think Allah is unaware. Never think that anything is hidden from Allah. Nothing is hidden from Allah. Allah is not unaware of anything. He is aware of everything in the universe. Everything that's happening in Bolton, in Blackburn, in England, in UK, in around the world, in Russia, in Ukraine, in Palestine, in India, anywhere in the world, Pakistan, Afghanistan, whatever is happening where, Allah is seeing everything. America, Canada, Brazil, wherever what's going on, Allah is aware of everything. Allah sees everything. But it's Allah's way of doing things. It's our duty to turn to Allah, beg from Allah. Allah will make things easy for us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. وربك يعلم وحزبني فضل وكرم سير المسلمين مغفرة فرمان. पूरी उम्मत की मग़फ़िरत फरमा, रहम करम कर दीजिए। हमारे यहाँ बैठना, कहना, सुनना, पढ़ना, पढ़ाना कबूल फरमाइए। कुरान पाक की समझ अता फरमाइए। कुरान पाक को समझने, उस पर अमल करने और दूसरों को समझाने और उसकी तरफ बुलाने और नश्र व इशाअत करने की तौफीक नसीब फरमाइए। हमारी सब दिली तमन्नाएं पूरी फरमाइए। जितनी जिंदगी आपने हमारी किस्मत में लिखी है, आपकी इताअत और फरमाबरदारी में गुजारने की तौफीक अता फरमाइए। आपकी नाफरमानी से हमारी हिफाजत फरमाइए। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि व सहबिहि।